This is Marc, senior reporter for LaborPress, and we're here today with the president of the New York City Central Labor Council, Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez, what did you tell the working members of DC 1707 today?
Well, really, I think what this is all about is we want to let them know a few things. Number one, we're outraged at what's taking place with the EarlyLearn program and really the circumvention of a valid collective bargaining agreement, of an agreement that's been has been in place for a long period of time, and the fact that there's been this process by City Hall to bypass that agreement, and we're outraged by that, and that we stand with all workers of the city, not just the public sector workers, but the private sector workers, the building trades workers. We stand with them at a level of just disappointment and outrage that that's taken place. But also, and this is a key point, that this is about the children, that it's about the parents, and it's about doing the right thing. We know we're out here supporting the workers. There are brothers and sisters that are going to be potentially out of a job if, in fact, everything goes through as we see. But what we want to remember, that ultimately the service that these daycare providers have provided for so long is such a valuable service because of the good that it does in promoting a stable family environment, providing this level of daycare. And it's really all about the children. It's about doing what's right for the parents, and it's about getting it done. So we're also looking forward to working with our elected officials to make sure that we get some sort of restoration of funds to be able to get us through this tough period. So that's what we're out here for.
Mr. Alvarez, you know, the mayor's been known to say that he's the education mayor, but given some of his recent actions, it seems he's got a new label now, which is anti-union. I mean, how do you feel, knowing that millions of dollars are going to private contractors, for example, to do the work that city workers are trained to do, but yet there's a call to slash early child care slots for children? How does that make you feel?
Well, look, at the end of the day, we all want to work together because we have some complex problems, both those of us on the management side of the table and those of us on the labor side. And we have been. We've been there. We want to work with them. We want to talk with them. We want to find solutions to these complex problems. But we want to do it in a way which makes sense. It doesn't make sense to go privatize to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars that are being wasted and that are being spent in a way that we can't justify. That doesn't, when we scrutinize the whole outsourcing process which took place, that it doesn't seem to make sense to most people. We just find out, we read the paper and we start, whether it started with City Time, that was the big one, but so many other projects now, we look at them and we say, we're trying to outsource these programs because we want to save money, because we say it makes economic sense. Well, it doesn't make economic sense when we have no accountability, when we have no system in place to have safeguards on where the taxpayers' money is going, and we find out that it's being lost to the tunes of 50 and hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases. That doesn't make economic sense. And on the other hand, on the worker side, it doesn't make economic sense to lay these people off to say because you had a better way of doing it, a more cost-effective way of doing it. That doesn't make sense either, and it doesn't hold up to the level of scrutiny that I think we have to have.
Mr. Alvarez, one last question. Some critics of the City Time project, now that the city is getting back $600-something million, people are saying now that money should be used to help fund the early child care and the Head Start programs. What's your response?
Well, I would say we should always be investing in our greatest resource in the city, which is our human resources. I've always believed that. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense from an economic standpoint for the city. I think it makes economic standpoint from the sense of creating wealth in the city, keeping people at work, and making sure that they have the level of purchasing power, just the level of financial stability that they need to survive in what are very difficult times. So if we have an opportunity to utilize funds from either the City Time projects or other areas, we should always consider using them in a way which is going to preserve work opportunity for our greatest resource, which is the workers of our city.
Mr. Alvarez, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.